All the riders now ready. They begin to surge forward. The gate drops, and 20 riders are on their way, heading for the Super Berm as Darrell Schultz heads out in front, safely through the first turn and heading for the Himalayas.
Darrell Schultz leading, Jeff Ward in second, Donnie Hansen third, and Chuck Sun in fourth.
The field sweeps through another right-hander and then over the double cruncher. Now another right-hander and up toward the Grand Teton.
It's incredible to watch these athletes scrambling, trying to gain position from the back. The guys that are faster in the back are going for it, pushing very hard. Riding one of these things reminds me of when I used to rodeo a little bit as a kid. You put a leg on either side and keep your mind in the middle.
Some sage advice, Johnny Rutherford. There they are in the sand pit, the rest of the field, while the leaders now heading down through the rockers. They begin a battle side by side. And it's Darrell Schultz that leads them up toward the catapult. On the other side is Bruce Jenner.
This is a very unique finish line right there. At the end of this race will be the finish line. They're 15 feet in the air. Darrell Schultz a slight lead, a very competitive first lap.
Now they begin lap number 2, and Hansen pours on the power and forces his way past Jeff Ward as they're in the Super Berm.
Hansen got a tremendous push off of the berm and just flat drove by him like he was painted on the fence.
So now it is Schultz, Hansen, Ward, and Chuck Sun. They're working lap number 2, 20 laps, the scheduled distance, as Darrell Schultz leads the field. And Johnny Rutherford, this is a sport that you go flat out right from the start to the finish.
Yes, Paul, and I think it says a lot for these riders. They have to be in incredible condition to hang on to that machine for that many laps and go flat out as hard as you can the total distance.
Well, Darrell Schultz is out in front right now, but it could be anybody to move up at any time. Not only is there the possibility of a disaster laying the bike down, but there's also the fact that you can close that distance in just no time.
It doesn't take any time at all for the closing rate. As you can see, a guy will make one little mistake, and bang, they're right on him.
And take a look at this. Back in 11th place, Bob Hanna. He's the winningest rider in all of Supercross, 19 victories. But he has his work cut out for him now as he tries to work his way up from 11th place. The riders begin to spring out, so let's go down by the Grand Teton where Jimmy Whiter's located.
Here's Darrell Schultz going over the double crunch. Very strong riding, very smooth lines through the Teton, coming to a nice right-hand turn, very smooth, very strong. Over the big Teton. Now he's taking a very good low line around the battlefield turn, followed by Donnie Hansen, who's going to the outside into the sand pit. Hansen's in trouble, but he holds his position. Back to you, Paul.
Hansen catches a mouthful of dirt, almost drops the bike, but maintains second place. It's still Schultz out in front. Hansen second, and now Jeff Ward moves up and begins to challenge Hansen. It's Ward alongside, and Ward moves into second place.
That's got to be one of the toughest places on the course to pass, but that shows what these guys are made of. They're really going for it.
Well, 3 laps are now complete. Darrell Schultz has led right from the start, but we've seen a tremendous battle between Hansen and Ward for second place as Hansen closes once again on the back of Ward's machine. And still sitting back in 11th place is Bob Hanna, trying desperately to move up and approach the leaders. Darrell Schultz still out in front. A smooth ride right from the start, but still it's anybody's race as Jeff Ward is right behind Schultz. There comes Schultz. Ward beginning to close. Schultz takes it off of the battlefield. Still running smoothly.
At this point in the race, they are smoothing up a bit because they've had a chance to run the course. They know what they're doing. They know the bumps, the lines. They're still going at it very fiercely, though, Paul.
Schultz almost drops it. He's off the bike. Climbs back on. Ward goes past. Hansen goes past. Schultz runs back to third place, so we have a new leader for the first time in the race as Jeff Ward brings her across the line in first place. Right behind him is Donnie Hansen, and Schultz has dropped back to third after almost laying the bike down going through the rockers. Watching our new leader, Jeff Ward, here's Jimmy Whiter.
Jeff Ward's now in the lead, followed by Donnie Hansen. I'll tell you, Jeff is doing one heck of a job out there leading this race. I know it must be hard for him. He's not accustomed to leading Supercross races. And I know exactly how it feels because when I used to lead these races, sweat used to pour out down from my goggles. They used to fog up. And I'll tell you, I bet his parents are very proud of him up in the stands. He's holding off Donnie Hansen with a hard charger. And I'll tell you, it's one hard pace that they are running out there right now. Paul?
21-year-old Jeff Ward riding number 11 out in front of a stadium motocross for the first time. He was born in Scotland, raised in the United States, and is doing a magnificent job right now. That's Donnie Hansen beginning to close right behind him. Jeff Ward holds him off as they come over the catapult, 15, 20 feet in the air, and complete another lap. But this time, Jeff Ward is scored as the leader.
Paul, they are setting an incredible pace, and as you can see, they're pulling away from the rest of the pack. It's going to be interesting to see just how long they can keep this up.
Now Hansen closes once again on Ward, and it's a battle again for the front. Let's go down to Bruce Jenner. Bruce?
And Paul, right now, coming down there, it's Donnie Hansen trying to make a move on the inside around Jeff Ward. Cannot quite do it. And right behind him is Schultz and O'Mara, but I think Donnie Hansen has decided to make his move for the lead, Paul.
No question about it, Bruce Jenner. It's Donnie Hansen pressuring Jeff Ward. Hansen moves around Ward, and Hansen is out in front. If he can go on to victory, this will be his first motocross win in a Supercross. Donnie Hansen out in front. Jeff Ward, though, is responding with that challenge and pursuing Hansen.
Paul, I have a watch on Donnie Hansen for this lap. When they go across the finish line, there it is, a 1:01, the fastest lap of the race today. They are really going after it.
And Donnie Hansen becomes our third leader. Darrell Schultz led from the start to lap 3. Then Jeff Ward took over, and now Donnie Hansen is out in front, and he is screaming away from Jeff Ward, really pouring the power on. Motocross is one of the most physically punishing of all sports. They take incredible punishment as they throw these bikes back and forth. Jimmy Whiter, it's also a sport of skill and balance.
That's correct, Paul. I'll tell you, and you can watch Donnie Hansen going into the sandpit. The way they have to muscle the bike around, move the body back and forth. Now move up on the tank to get through the corner, get ready for the next jump. It's not easy. You have to have complete concentration. And as Donnie Hansen's portraying right here, he's doing a very fine job. Into the rockers once again. Oh, off the foot pegs. He had to quickly get back to them. Otherwise, Jeff Ward would have been past him. Paul?
We'll be back right after these messages. Well, it's visions of a motorized ant farm here at Anaheim Stadium. Not really. This is Anaheim Stadium Supercross. I'm Paul Page with Johnny Rutherford, Jimmy Whiter, and Bruce Jenner. And Donnie Hansen is out in front. Jeff Ward is chasing him, and Johnny O'Mara has now moved up into third place. It's the young men out in front.
Paul, it's interesting to note here the new faces running out front. As Jimmy said earlier, these guys have never been in this position before. Maybe it's a sign of the future.
Donnie Hansen's problem in the past has been one of consistency, but during the last season, he picked up the smoothness needed to do well at motocross and is running very well here. Some of his close friends also say that his marriage to Lisa over the winter has really made a difference to stabilize his life. Well, he's stabilized out in front of Jeff Ward now as they continue to race around this quarter-mile motocross track.
It's interesting here. Watch his moves. He's very fluid, very smooth. Making these jumps, he knows the course now, and he's settled into running very fast. Maybe that's why he's taking this commanding lead.
And there's the battle for 6th place between the perennial rivals, Mark Barnett and Bob Hanna. Hanna, you'll remember, got a bad start, sat in 11th place for a while, now has moved up to 7th place to challenge Mark Barnett.
Those guys look like they're flying formation, Paul, running the same, over the jumps the same. Really something to watch.
Now, the nature of the motocross course changes lap to lap. Bruce Jenner has been keeping track of those changes in this course, and we go down to Bruce Jenner now for this report.
Right now, Paul, this is an all-important turn. You can notice there's a berm that's building up, and as the riders come through, they're able to use this berm to get a good shoot down the stretch. Now, as they go through this turn, it's very important that they get a good turn through here because they want to get as many RPMs as they can to get as much speed down that straightaway. Because there's only a few places to pass on this course, and the straightaway is one of them, Paul.
That furious battle for 6th place continues as Mark Barnett now gives way, and Hurricane Bob Hanna moves past, and Hanna's now in 6th place.
Bob Hanna has been averaging 59 seconds a lap for the last 2 laps, Paul. That's 2 seconds a lap faster than the leaders, and that's for 6th place.
And it's this man, Donnie Hansen, in 1st place as number 7, well out in front of the 2nd place bike of Jeff Ward. And watching Hansen lead is Jimmy Whiter. Jimmy?
Yeah, Paul, this is the dream of a lifetime for Donnie Hansen from Simi Valley, California. He used to win all the local races. The factory teams watch him. They picked him up. He has proven his worth now after 3 years on the circuit. And I'll tell you, his wife, Lisa, is very proud of him right now. If he can hold it up and keep going, he's going to have his first victory ever. But we never know until the checker flag gets there. He is still being hounded by the other riders. Right now, going through his mind, is that first victory? Can I do it? And I've worked with Donnie a little bit this year, doing a little practice. We play racquetball together. He's trained hard. I think he has the confidence and the strength to go on to win it. Let's see what happens, Paul.
And Donnie Hansen now has an additional problem as he begins to wind his way through the back markers in the field.
Paul, that's always a problem, and you have to watch where they go and stay out of trouble. In this case, it could cost him because second place is very close, could close the gap, take it away from him, and he certainly doesn't want that to happen.
Well, Donnie Hansen moving well out in front now. It is Ward in second place and Johnny O'Mara in third. We're back at the Anaheim Stadium Supercross, where Donnie Hansen continues to lead. Now, the race opened with Darrell Schultz taking the lead. He led until lap 3. Then Jeff Ward got past and led for 3 laps. And then Donnie Hansen took over, and he has led to this point. Jeff Ward has dropped back into second place, and Johnny O'Mara is sitting in third. Donnie Hansen is running well, showing no fatigue whatsoever.
Jeff Ward, running in second, had a show of strength early in the race, leading at 3 laps, but he can't keep up with that pace.
Ward's motor seemed to be strong in the early going, but he seems to be slowing down just a bit now. There's Johnny O'Mara. He's locked in a battle for third place. He's currently in third, but he's being chased by Darrell Schultz, the early leader in the race. And Donnie Hansen running very smoothly out in front. On his way, he hopes to a victory. Let's go down to the catapult. Here is Bruce Jenner.
Well, you get a different perspective as you see the leaders. There goes Donnie Hansen by us. But a different perspective from down here on the track and the amount of height that they get coming off this jump. It almost seems like they have to get clearance from air traffic control because they get so high. But the idea in motocross is to keep that back wheel on the ground, keep that power down so you can accelerate. Don't get too high.
Donnie Hansen running smoothly around the racetrack. He has backed off the pace just a bit. And about 50 yards back is this man, Jeff Ward, who is running in second place. And sitting behind Ward in third place is Johnny O'Mara. And Donnie Hansen wobbles his way now through the rockers. At any point on this course, Hansen could drop that bike, but so could the second place rider, Jeff Ward. Hansen has a lead, though, and is determined to keep it. Let's go down to Bruce Jenner.
Paul, with 2 laps to go from down here on the track is getting ruddy. There's 20 bikes that started this race. They've gone 18 laps. It's all dug up. There's a lot of variables. There's a lot of very tired riders out there. A lot of things can happen in the last few laps for Donnie Hansen. But as of right now, he's out in the lead. He looks to be under control and riding beautifully.
Donnie Hansen with less than 2 laps to go now as he's watching every move very carefully. The track changing with every lap. And he has just a short distance now and his first victory ever in a Supercross. But, Johnny, you still have to take care right to the checkered flag.
You really do, especially now that he's coming into some traffic. This is the point to where anybody could touch him. He could go down and cost him the whole shooting match.
So Donnie Hansen being ever so careful as he takes it through the rockers. Slower riders all around him. A mistake could end the day for Hansen at this point. It's still not over yet. He heads for the catapult. The white flag is out, and there is 1 lap to go for victory for Donnie Hansen. Around onto the main straightaway. He heads for the super berm. Donnie Hansen well out in front. Ward is in second place. Now Hansen through the Himalayas, still running smoothly. He knows now that he is very, very close. Speaking of close, look at this battle for third place. That's O'Mara, number 9. And Schultz begins to push alongside. Schultz moves ahead. Now Schultz is around O'Mara, and in third place, O'Mara drops back to 4th. So Schultz, a terrific move, but now Schultz off the course. O'Mara by on the inside. Schultz back to 4th. O'Mara in 3rd, but Schultz moving once again. Schultz right in behind O'Mara. He's there and could move. Now it's Donnie Hansen out in front. Ward in 2nd, O'Mara in 3rd. And there is Hansen. 1 more turn Hansen wins the Anaheim Supercross. Jeff Ward comes across the line in second place. And there's Johnny O'Mara, who has finished third. But the day belongs to Donnie Hansen, winning his first Supercross ever. Jeff Ward, the second place rider.